Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is ConflctNerd Callum here today, bringing you a brand new episode of our Cities XXL Let's Play. Today, we are going to go ahead and start off by messing around with this frame rate first of all. I really love the postcard mode, but it's just the frame rate fucks it up, and I know I complain about it all the time, but it is just so frustrating. So there's a lot of things I want to do in this episode, a lot of things. There always is. I always have sort of a task list at the start of videos, what I want to go ahead and achieve. And in this episode, the satisfaction levels aren't as good as I want them to be, and there's also a major problem with factories being able to hire people. As you can see, there's a lot of jobs available which I need to go ahead and deal with in this episode. But before we go into anything, I want to go ahead and start off by building some farms, which is what we're going to do. I just want to be able to have more farms in, because we went ahead and built farms for a reason, so we can go ahead and start producing food for our city, but we're not producing enough food, so we might as well go ahead and make use of our farms. So I'm going ahead and playing around here with some grain silos. We don't need two yet, that's for sure. Basically you just want to have grain silos in with and around your farms, just so you can get more food out of them. That is really why you have them. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is try and maximise my space along here actually. This is going to be weird, I'm going to have to start this from up here. It's not that it's a glitch, but it's just a wee bit funny sometimes. But we're going to maximise this whole space out here and build a farm in there like so. Again, I'm just going to go ahead and build a variety of different farms. Just coming in here and randomly selecting it. So we're going to build another fruit farm in here. And just run a road along the top line to maximise the space. That field is too large actually, which is kind of surprising. I don't really think I'm going to be able to get a small farm in this area here though, somewhat, so I'll have to leave that side of the road for a second. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to build too many farms this episode. As we need more food, I'll probably go ahead and build more farms, or maybe I'll build some more farms off camera. But this field is too large as well. We can make a triangle in there actually, if that's going to let me build. Not quite, yep, there we go, build, yep, no, come on, just build. See, this is what I mean, at times it can just be a bit annoying, so maybe those two are a wee bit too close there. Hopefully they won't cause too many issues though. And we'll build one final farm for now. Like so, and then hopefully if we jump back into Omnicorp, which is what we live in, we can go ahead and see Omnicorp's going to be a mess. Not too bad actually, so food industry we're at 0, which is fine. Offices we can go ahead and export, which is nice to see. And overall the city is making quite a bit of a profit. Do remember though we did raise the taxes by 1 for the citizens, which understandably they weren't too happy about. So we need to go ahead and address our population crisis, which is what we are going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this area out pretty much with executive housing. I don't know how much more I can really get in with this area though. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much spam loads down around here. I don't really want to go ahead and embark on a new housing estate just yet. So I think I'm also going to have a through road just at the bottom here. So if we build a through road probably about there. Yeah, I think that was the best place to go ahead and build it. I think we could probably get a lot of houses in here, but again I don't want to make things overly cramped, if you know what I mean, so we are going to maximise our space. I think I might maybe put in a park in there, or again just more trees, and we'll build some more housing along here as well. Again, I don't want to go over the top and build too much, however available jobs is at 19% right now, so it's a really high amount, which we do have to build a lot of housing to go ahead and deal with this underpopulation issue. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill out this whole road here and add in a few more there, and I think that will do. Then I'm just going to go ahead and detail this place up a bit. So if we jump into leisure, I think we want, which is in commerce. Leisure, let's see what we've got. So we go ahead and, why have I got all the stadiums unlocked? Maybe my mods are finally working without having to unlock them all, which is strange. That's nice, yes, we have all our stadiums, we have some of the mods working without having everything unlocked. I realise I just said the same thing twice. So we can go ahead and build a variety of different things in here. I'm just wanting something really basic though, I'm not wanting something too over the top. Having a swimming pool for you sort of people would make sense. I'd say that really badly, you sort of people. High-end people would have, you know, a swimming pool. You're not going to really get a swimming pool in a council estate, are you? So we're going to go ahead and put that in there. Then what I'm going to do is just add a wee bit more detail in as well. So if we jump into decoration, again go for my classic forest. I love forests. I absolutely love forests. So let's just detail this area out, that will do there. I think that's good for now. We'll leave it like that, and as you can see the houses aren't filling up too much. I'm going to go ahead and I always like to play this game at a sort of ×3 rate. And that's definitely going to deal with the available jobs crisis. If anything, it's going to cause us bigger problems because it probably means we're going to have some unemployability. And we need to go ahead and build some more skilled housing. Now this is where the problem is. This area is pretty much full and I don't want to go any further up or down. I can't physically really go any further up because we hit this office district here, and if I was to go any further down, I don't really want to start eating into my so-called downtown office district. So this gives us a bit of a dilemma, and I'm not really at all sure what the best way to solve it is. What I am thinking of going ahead and do is starting a completely new zone. Probably on the lower end of this island, that's what I am thinking, and I think we might go for something like that. Or I could go ahead and replace some of the low density housing with medium density housing. I can't really remember though what is low density, and unless I can find a map which tells me the density, I don't think that is going to happen. Population. So yes, we do have a map, which is good. So as you can see here, the areas here selected are low density, or no, that's unskilled workers. Shit. Okay, so this is skilled workers. So where we originally built, I can imagine you're all single density. Does it actually tell me? Yeah, low density. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these 3 blocks here, just outright delete them, and then you're going to get replaced. So now that they're all removed, I'm going to go ahead and add in some of this new density. Higher density, just so we can get more people in a smaller place. And we really will have to maximize our space in the city, just because we really don't have a lot of room at all in the city to go ahead and play around with. So that will hopefully help things out. Anyway, we do have an issue, which is citizens exodus. I realize that's an issue. That isn't my biggest issue though. This is the biggest issue here, which we have. The bus is at 100% full. So I definitely need to go ahead and add more buses. We only added in 1 in the end of the last episode. So we're going to go ahead and deal with that. And Jesus, these rates are... I'm going to have to build a new housing estate down the bottom here. I realised I said I wanted to build a stadium down here, and I do want to build a stadium probably down here. We could always go ahead and just start off a new village. Though I don't know if we're quite ready for that yet. You know what, fuck it, we're gonna do it. This wasn't on the agenda, but it's an issue which we have to deal with. So this wee peninsula here, I guess you could say, is where the new village is gonna go. We might have another one up here. These are gonna be separate from the Berika city itself. And I want to treat this as a sort of metropolitan area of Berika city, so it has some outer lying areas, because realistically in a city you're not going to get a farm, are you? So this is sort of the metropolitan area of Berika city. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is draw the foundations for this, which is going to come off here, gonna come along here, and then go back up there like that. Magic. Now, this isn't going to be exactly, I don't want to do necessarily grid, I do want to do a bit of grid roads, but I also want to go ahead and do a wee bit of something a wee bit more lighter. I want to have a road boundary all the way around this time, which is what I'm going to go ahead and try and build successfully. Like so. So I'm very quickly just going to go ahead and build a road all the way around this peninsula. Anyway, so that is the coastal town built. As you can see, it is a bit different. This junction here might cause a few issues later on when we start to build housing, but in between the main road of the town, which is this sort of box we've gone ahead and built here, and in between the coastal road, I want to have houses that are very much different shapes and different sizes instead of just our traditional grids. However, I'm going to have to go ahead and start off by building some traditional grids. However, I'm not going to be able to get too much grids in here, unfortunately. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by building the grids here. And we're going to have to build quite a lot realistically. I mean, realistically, we can get, this town is going to be pretty big. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by building 2 here. Now, obviously, with any new town, you need to go ahead and add in city services, which is what we're going to do. I very quickly just want to go ahead and lay some more foundations for the future. And this place is obviously going to get a bus as well, and eventually when we unlock it, a metro too. So hopefully that'll start off by building some housing. I realise it's got nothing out here right now, so we very quickly want to go ahead and put in some city services. You're going to get a clinic. You're going to get a middle school. Oh, we've got different kinds of schools now unlocked as well, which is interesting. So we have middle school and elementary school. So we might need to go ahead and build some more middle schools in our city. Yeah, we probably are going to have to, if that sentence computes. Our city has a bit of problem with the schooling in general, so I'm going to go ahead and over here build our first ever middle school. And hopefully that sort of deals with the issue a wee bit in the city. We could do with one up this end as well, I definitely feel. Hopefully we can maybe get one along the coast here, so there we go. That's why I've not necessarily filled up every single little tile, just because in the future we are going to unlock more buildings. We're going to have a small sheriff's office out here to deal with this town, and we're going to have a fire station as well to help out. So now we should hopefully start to see people maybe move in here. I need to go ahead and build some shops, actually that's a definite thing which we need to go ahead and do. So again, we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a small retail area, which I'm going to build a road. I just want to build a straight road, or do I want to have a road like that? No, I probably don't. Let me think about this. So if we go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and build another block. I'm building for the future here, I guess you could say. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to do similar to what we have done before. We're going to have like a closed end sort of mall, which is going to be, I feel that road's too big, so we're going to have the road go up to there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into retail. We're going to go for medium density, and then we're going to go for the free zone. We're going to use small roads, I think, on this. And it's just going to be a shopping mall area like that. I kind of want to have it a wee bit more, you know, not just square shaped. This is kind of fucked up. But it's going to sort of have to be a bit square shaped though. Though that is really not square shaped. If we have you run to about there. How does that look? So we have some shops in there. It looks not too bad. I'll go ahead and add a wee extension onto this as well down the bottom. So there is a fair amount of shops in there. Hopefully that will sort of deal with the people's shopping needs for now. Again, we can always come back to this. It does sound when I say that though, I'm going ahead and giving this a fuck it sort of feel, but I'm not. There's not a lot I could really do with shops in this game, just because the way the game is, it's not that customizable, so I can only go ahead and do so much stuff. Again, gonna go with the traditional wooded area all around this, and then I think I'm gonna add in some form of leisure facilities as well. So if we jump out of here and we go back into the commerce leisure section, I'm going to add in a football pitch, because I think that would be something that would very much be in with this community. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and build that. So we'll build this along the top here actually, and then hopefully, in general, all our leisure satisfaction for our city seems to be fine on every single road, and I think that is just due to the stadium and where the stadium is placed. The larger stadiums seem to provide wonderful city coverage for our leisure, and it does also go ahead and it costs quite a bit of money, but it really does a really good job, so we don't have to place as much of these smaller ones, which is good. But it is nice to have these smaller ones in as well, because it just gives that realistic feel as much as we can in this game. So we do have unemployment, which is good in with the skilled and executive section. That was what I was wanting to achieve. However, we now have open jobs in our unskilled market, so we're going to go ahead and build a row of unskilled housing. This town here, I'm going to call it Spartika, just randomly. This is Spartika. Welcome to Spartika, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a mixture of skilled and unskilled workers, I think, can go in here. So we're having a bit of a money crisis. Our money's really dropped since we went ahead and built a lot more stuff. That is because Omnicorp is going to be a wee bit all over the place. So all of a sudden we've got a lot more fuel tokens. Not really at all sure why this is. It's probably because we have executives back working in our big building downtown. So if we run down here and we have executives, because I probably had an executive shortage, there was no one working in here, so I wasn't getting fuel tokens. However, that's really not changed things at all, has it? At all, so we could start to make a loss here. I need to go ahead and trade out manufacturing and offices. That should give us a wee bit of money. We need to build more high tech evidently, and we also need more electricity as well. So go ahead and apply that to Omnicorp. We have 75,000 people, so we have unlocked shopping malls, large heavy industry as well. So a few interesting unlocks in there. What I'm going to go ahead and do while we're down here is build some more high-tech industry. So I've only got low density for that right now, so I'm just going to build a few. You really don't want to have a lot of high-tech industry, I don't think anyway. And again, I'm not really at all sure what this yellow is for. Is it for the manufacturing? I could go ahead and build some up here, but I want to treat it like offices. You're not going to see high-tech industry in really rough estates with lots of pollution. You're going to see it in nice modern places where I think you'd have offices. Maybe not necessarily in the downtown business district, but it's the way my city's working out. I'm going to place them together. And if I jump into Omnicorp, hopefully that issue will sort of resolve itself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to go ahead and build some more electricity plants. Hopefully we've maybe gone ahead and unlocked a large electricity plant, and unfortunately we've still not, so I think we're just going to have to go ahead and... Actually, it says here to get a power plant I need to place 4 small power plants, and I believe up here we've already got 2, so I'm going to go ahead and build the 3rd and the 4th. So all 4 of these are right beside each other. We've also got the police station here and the fire station, which I think is a good idea to have these side by side, and also beside the electricity stations as well. So now we're making a loss, which I don't like. Electricity -1, so that's sort of dealt with the issue. We're just not trading as much as I want to. The only thing we're outsourcing is oil, and oil isn't really making us too much money, or we're spending too much. That is the bottom line. So if we jump into our expenses here, as you can see, our expenses are pretty high. For our population though, it isn't that bad. Overall, the main thing comes from utilities and fuel. Waste is costing us quite a bit of money, understandably. Cash tokens exported is making us money, but it's not making us a lot of money. It's only making us 168,000. That just needs to sort of raise, so we need to sort of produce more. That's fundamentally what I'm learning from this. So overall, the satisfaction of the people groups is much better, which is sort of the original aim of this episode. It's really just trying to find the perfect level of available jobs and unemployment. You'll never get it perfect. That isn't too bad right now. There's 30 jobs available, and those are for elites. We're only about 24,000 off getting elites, which will be great once we get them, because I can guarantee stuff like this will make so, and I mean so much more money for our city, just because it'll be able to work at full capacity and not only at 50%. Anyway, so the final thing I'm going to do this episode is build another bus route. Now, I realised I said I'd do this much earlier in the episode, I've just not got round to it. I'm going to build the downtown bus route, and in the next episode we're definitely going to have to go ahead and deal with sorting out our 1, money situation, just making more money, but 2, I want to deal with public transport because it's a bit of a mess right now. So what I'm going to start off with is a bus line which goes through the 2 housing estates and goes downtown this time. So it's going to be kind of similar bus stop placements to the first line that we went ahead and built. Like so, I think that's pretty good. And then we'll have you come in here like so. Then you can go ahead and stop pretty much in all similar places. Again, I don't want to have too many bus stops on this line. I don't think we really want to go into that shopping area there. I think that's pretty good for now. Again, I'm thinking about in the future having a one-way system, and I think that is what I'll do at some stage, so not now. I'm going to go ahead and pre-build a bus stop up here. There's no buildings around bus stop 14, if you can see that number. It's pretty vague for some reason. I'm going to pre-build that just because I know that's where I'm going to build eventually. So we'll build 2 bus stops here, and then what I'll do is it'll loop all the way back round to the terminal and like that. And that is our second bus stop created. That has cost us a wee bit more money though, understandably, but hopefully that bus will, one, take a wee bit of pressure off bus line number 1, but it should also go ahead and free up our traffic issue which we're having. So if we jump into traffic manager, this is really not as bad. The main road down the middle here is nowhere near as bad as it was because we were getting some red through before, but hopefully it'll tackle some of the yellow in and around this area here. And I also definitely need to go ahead and build a bus route for our executives as well, which I will do in the next episode. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this episode of Berika. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.